Hello, welcome back to the fish locker out on the shore. We have a stunning autumn day with us today. Massive spring tides, so myself and the fish locker girls are going to go for a walkabout on the low tide line. Now, we've got about another hour and a half of the ebb, which means the tide's going out for another hour and a half. We're just going to follow it down, see what we can find. Anything in the rock pools, crabs, clams. Just happy to be out on such a lovely day with some noisy dogs. Let's go. When you come into a new area ashore, if you haven't been there before and you want to know what's in the area, I've explained this a couple of times, have a look on the high tide line, because anything that's living out there that's died will get washed up here. So just looking about here in this little area, I can see straight away we're going to have mussels, limpets, purple top shells, cockles. What else have we got? Flat periwinkles. That is a queenie scallop or a variegated scallop. There's another one. That is a warty Venus clam. Yeah, so straight away I've identified probably 7 or 8 different types of shellfish. There's another queenie scallop shell. Loads of mussels around. There is a netted dog whelk. So yeah, by having a look on the high tide line, you generally have a good idea of what you can look for out there. Let's go. Alive or dead? Oh no, she's alive. Little green shore crab. This is a little female. Working our way further down the shore, you can see areas like this. These are mussels. Now, all of these are a little bit small. I wouldn't be taking them unless they were about that big. And these are higher up on the tide line. These are probably halfway through. So I know that I can go down there and forage around and catch these on the way back. Yeah, mussels are great. They're present all year round. A good healthy stock of them. And they taste delicious. I'm trying to find the best way of showing you. Sorry, but the wind's quite strong where I am. Hannah's just pointed out here we have got some massive limpets. The size of them. Another shore crab. This is sea lettuce, Ulva lactuca. This is also very delicious. Got little bits of Irish moss, some pom-pom weed, and these are called pink coral weeds. I've managed to get myself a little bit closer down towards the low tide line. I've took myself out of the wind because there is a bit of a wind. Looking around, we have still got a lot of nice mussels, but as I'm getting closer to the water, the rock pools are getting deeper. Now it's always worth having a good look, because you never know what there might be that's been cut off by the tide. Now in there was a massive dahlia anemone, and what I'm looking for is little cracks and crevices like that up there. Well, there are some stunning anemone up there, because hidden up in some of these there might be some crabs or some lobsters. I'll get my hook out and I'll have a little rake around. But yeah, there's loads of anemone and sponges. There is a strawberry anemone. You can see why it's called a strawberry anemone, can't you, by all them spots. Down there there's a snake locks. Hiding away behind there is a little shore crab. There are loads of anemone. These are dog whelks. Mussels everywhere, aren't they? This is about the size that I would keep. Like this size. That is a brilliant eating size mussel. Whenever you're collecting mussels as well, don't take everything from a patch. So say for instance, rather than taking all of those, take one from groups. Don't take all of a group. There is a nice looking cave. I'll get my flashlight out and we'll have a look at that. Yeah. Just looking for like an overhang, like an edge like that. Right, let's have a look and see what there is. There's a little crab there. There's a velvet swimming crab. But that appears to be it. Yeah, a little velvet. We do have a couple of things here. First one is a spiny starfish. But the second, there is a crab just hiding up the back of here. There you see. It was only a tiny one, so he's managed to get himself in that little hole. Yeah, a little shore crab and a spiny starfish. Looking up under here, I can see some prawns and a velvet swimming crab. I'll get the underwater camera and we'll have a look at that. We've got a big dahlia anemone, a velvet crab and a gang of cheeky prawns. A leech's spider crab, and these two fish were actually called a hook nose or a pug. Looking in that hole there was loads. A couple of prawns came right out in front of the camera, there was a couple of fish, and I did find these two little critters. Now these are interesting. These in my hand here, one is a little decorator crab, and the other, the bigger one that's running away, that is a leech's spider crab. Can you believe that? How incredible are those? The little one, you wouldn't even see it, would you? Look. And this guy, usually these live inside of a snake locks anemone. Let's just go and put him back. He's there. Yeah, there's all sorts living up in there. Prawns, anemones, velvet swimming crabs. So every rock pool, you just never know what's going to be in there. I love it. Oh, hello. Right. I don't know if you can see that in there. You see the crab? There's a male and a female crab in there. There we are. That is a husband and wife pair. That's the male. This one here's the male. That one's there's the female. You can tell the difference because the male has got a narrow V there and also bigger claws. The female has got a larger pad. These are too small to keep. We'll just send them back. But yeah, that is a male and a female brown edible crab. But that's what you're looking for, just a little crevice like that. Looking here, there is another one of those crabs. See it? But also, oh, I know you had me. A couple of little velvets. And a lot of little fish and shrimps. There is an incredibly vivid purple top shell. Beautiful, isn't it? I'm down now, looking around in amongst all the kelp. Just looking in like the overhangs. Because as you can see, up at the back of there, there's another edible crab. That's what you're looking for, just like that. Oh. Some blue-rayed limpets. They are lovely, those. I love the smell of this. It takes me back to when I was a kid and like raving about with my brothers and sisters in the rock pools. Yeah, when you get right down in amongst all the kelp here, there is a certain smell to it. I think it's lovely. Tide's going to be turning in just a second. I'll get back up and meet the girls. They're rock pooling further up the shore. He's been in the wars, hasn't he? I imagine there'll be another one. This is an example of why you should never stick your fingers into a hole that you can't see the end of. Because look what's inside this one. You see Mr. Conger eel at the back of there? Yeah, there's a conger eel at the back of that one. I'm going to start collecting some mussels now, and these are a good size. Try and make sure that you keep a little bit of beard on them, and I'll explain why later. But when you're picking them, pick one or two from each bunch. Don't pick every one from a certain patch. Now they do hang on to the rocks really hard by this. Now most people just call it a beard, but its proper name is a byssus, and they hang on to the rocks like that. Just emptied out into this pool here, and I am going to give them a bit of a sort. We have got some absolute stunners. Now some of them you can see have got bits of seaweed on them. Now the beards, I'm going to leave them, the most of the beards on the byssus, because if you pull it out you kill the mussel. Now I'm going to want to keep these in some clean seawater for, well, as long as it takes us to get back, to be able to let them purge for a little bit. But if you get two with some barnacles on and you rub them together, they break the barnacles off each other. So I'll get through, I'll sort them out and we'll get back to the van. The girls have done a little bit of videoing as well while I was down raking about near the low tide line. So I'll put in some of their footage as well. They did tell me that they saw an old man swimming in speedos. I don't think I'll put that in there.
See that one quite well there. You can see why it's a strawberry anemone. Its skin has strawberry seeds on it. You can see a really big crab claw with no crab attached to it. Down there, an edible crab claw. There's a couple of nice big clean mussels here.
Right, well, we've got the mussels that we got from the beach earlier on, and I'm just giving it a second sort. I gave them a rough grade when I was on the beach, kept all the better sized ones, and I said to leave the beards in them. Now these pieces, I've left a couple to show you. This here, call it the beard, its proper name is a byssus, and it's what it uses to attach to a rock like that. If you pull it out completely, it kills the mussel. So I leave the beards in and let them soak in some clean seawater to let them purge a little bit. Now the final grade is, if you can, it'll show me up now. There. Pull the whole beard out. There's a proper one. Like that. And then, once I've finished with these, I will pass you over to Jim. There you go, Jim.
Hello and welcome to Spargo's Kitchen, cooking in socks. Tonight we're having some mussels and chips for tea. We have these beautiful Cornish coast mussels which John has carefully scraped and debearded, and as usual we'll have a couple of two different dishes. So I'm going to do the classic moules mariniere with some finely diced onion, garlic, white wine, cream and parsley, and I'm also going to do a sort of made up dish where we'll have some garden leeks and garlic, smoked bacon lardons, and we'll finish with some of Mr. Cohen's finest double cream. Right, I've got this, my big saute pan on, and it's very hot. I'm just going to pop the mussels in to open and start the cooking process. Hot pan, sizzle, sizzle. Going to put a splash of water in with them, generate a bit of steam, lid on. We'll leave those for a minute. Right, chopped onion, warm pan, little butter, lid on for a second. Just put this pan, warming some butter in there. And the leeks. Doing this wrong way around, I should put the smoked bacon in first. Hey ho. And whilst we're at the stove, these have just been on 2 minutes. As you can see, some of them starting to open. Not going to put any salt into anything because the mussels will be incredibly salty. But I do like a little bit of finely ground black pepper. I'll leave the lid on the onions so that they sweat down nicely. so I can get the bacon to actually cook. We'll leave the lid off. And, right, there's our mussels. Have had a few minutes. You can see they're nicely open. And I'm just going to strain them into the colander.
Give that one a wash.
We want to reserve the cooking liquor, but there will be some bits of grit, sand or stone, so we'll just leave it to settle for a while. And in the meantime, we've got our leeks and bacon coming on very nicely, and there is our onions nicely swifted. So they want garlic, plenty of that, a little bit of garlic in there. And with the leeks and bacon, I'm also going to add some thyme. Just a nice crisp, dryish white wine. A generous glassful with the onion and the garlic.
And we've just added a little bit of thyme into here as well, haven't we?
Oh, yes, I've just put a tad of thyme in there. So just turn the gas down on that. Just going to leave that to reduce down, let the alcohol burn off the wine. Hey, here's our liquid off the mussels. It is incredibly briny. It's like the seaweed, and I'm just going to put a couple of small ladlefuls in each pan.
That's why you didn't add any salt.
No salt at all. And I'll just dispose of this. I won't use it for anything else, but you can just see that there is.
You can see the little bits of grit.
There, you see. So you never want to tip that entirely into your dish. So most important to leave it settle for a minute or two.
Makes sense.
Right, back to the stove. I added the very salty mussel liquid, and I put a 300ml pot of double cream in there. Most generous handful of chopped parsley. That's flat leaf parsley. And this is our smoked bacon and leek with a little bit of thyme, small amount of garlic, some of them salty mussel liquor, and I also put a tiniest splash of white wine in there. That's entirely optional, and I'm just going to, not a lot of cream, just about 100 mils.
Well, you've reduced the wine off, so there'll be no alcohol in it.
There's no alcohol in it, but you don't need to put the wine in there. You could put cider or sort of a light continental lager type beer. Just going to have a taste of these sauces before we commit. Yes, that's good. The cream has taken the excess saltiness out. Yeah, that will do too. So there's half of our mussels, and I'm just going to pour that sauce over. I've just got the chips in the fryer. So those mussels will take the heat up nicely. Right, there's our more marinara.
That smells absolutely
For
delicious.
the table. I'm just going to rinse that pan out. Right, I've just wiped the big sauté pan out. I've put the leaky bacon sauce in, brought it back to the heat, and we'll just let those mussels just for a scant minute, and they'll pick up the heat again. Let's turn the Right, well, we've moved outside for the cooking of the chips. Carol refuses to have a fryer in the house. when we did the cod in batter, she was away on holiday. So cut the chips, soak them in some cold water, 10 minutes, remove some of the starch, blanch them at 150, 160 for a few minutes, and then turn the fryer up, 180, just another minute or so. But these potatoes have lovely clean skins, so I didn't bother peeling them.
Yeah, the last time that we did anything frying, Carol was away. Come back like 3 days later going, yeah, actually the pavlova has been mentioned in a couple of...
Oh, has it?
Right, we're starting to dish up. Chips are just going to be another minute before they're finished. And... okay. Right.
I'm trying to take a photo of my seat spinning me away from her.
Lizzie, James! I think I'm going to get some of that bread to mop it up with. Jim's just gone straight in with the chips.
Yes, chips in the bowl and a good Dunkin' gravy.
I will make quick mention to that there. I'm just talking to Lizzie. I'm saying if you do get any of them and they are tight shut, as in they won't open at all. Like this one here, this one's closed but it's a little bit open, it's got a couple of millimetres, that'll be alright. If they're tight shut, don't bother trying to wrestle with them, just discard them because there's something not right with them. Right, well there's round 2. This is the marinara one. How do you say it?
Mariniere.
Mariniere. This is the marinara one, and the one previous was the smoky bacon and leek with some homemade chips and some is this sourdough bread?
Yes, it is.
It is absolutely delicious. Hannah's worked her way through just a couple of them. No, actually, Elizabeth has worked her way through
Lizzie
quite
ate most of them,
I think
didn't
Lizzie's
she?
just smashed through them all before we'd even realised that we'd sat down. She'd yeah, absolutely delicious. But leave enough space for dessert, definitely. There we are. We have pretty much well and truly finished them all off. And as I was talking about mussels that don't open, my second to last one is one of those ones. You can see how it's tightly shut. Right, there we are with dessert. That is homemade bread and butter pudding. I'm just going to say that was all absolutely delicious. I hope you enjoyed joining us on the show. It was myself and the Fish Locker girls, and then a delicious cook-up at Spargo's Kitchen. Which you think it was the leaky bacon one that you enjoyed the most? I think I did too. But both absolutely delicious. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And I hope you enjoyed joining us. All the very best. See you later.